Hello, this is Mrs. Startup, and today we are going to talk about business intelligence and how you can use it for your startup project or your company. So, business intelligence is a lot of practices, tools, and approaches that you can use to transform data into knowledge and how you can learn from this information that you collect, analyze, and visualize. So today we are in an era of big data. That means that data is generated by many people, by many companies, everywhere and all the time. And we have to be able to analyze this data and to be able to look at the opportunities that come from the data, and of course, to be able to respond according to the trends. So, the idea of business intelligence is to make the life of the manager easier and to help him or her make better decisions based on real data, based on information of past experience, but also about the analysis of the future trends. So there are mainly three things that you can do with business intelligence when you are an entrepreneur or when you are creating your startup. The first thing is that it helps you look and discover new opportunities of business, since you are all the time looking at what is happening in the environment, what are the trends of customers, of technology, of companies. Secondly, it helps you to understand whether your project or idea is viable, is desirable, and of course feasible. So it helps you test your idea and see whether it can be implemented in the market, and to see what are the different elements that can impact your idea that you might need to follow and understand that before you launch your company. And of course, in the third step is about knowing what to do and be able to uh, forecast what is going to happen in the future and how can you behave, and what are the strategies that you can put in place in order to respond to the dynamic environment changing around your startup and around your idea. So there are mainly four steps in business intelligence that are important to follow and to put in place. No matter what type of business intelligence you're putting in place, it is important that you define and that you follow the different steps so that it's effective. So the first thing is defining the problem. So the problem, it can be anything. How can I segmentate my clients so that I can offer them a better solution and more target solution? So in the first part, which is definition of the problem, there are mainly four objectives that you need to have in mind so that you can organize your work. So the first thing, identifying the needs in terms of data, in terms of time, and in terms of money. Then you have to evaluate how much effort do you need to put in order to collect that data and access to the data, because most of the databases are very costly. So you have to be able to understand from the beginning how much it's going to cost you to access those data and whether you will be able to access it. Third, you need to identify the sources that you're going to look and to collect the data from, so that you can validate whether they are reliable or not, because this is important. Even if you have one source, you have to be able to cross data and cross information with other sources so that you are sure that what you are having there is true. And of course, the fourth step is to organize yourself or your team on how you are going to perform this business intelligence in terms of schedule, but also in terms of agenda. So how frequently, for example, are you going to follow your competitors? When are you going to do it? Are you going to do it at the beginning of your day, for example? Is it going to be every week, every month, and so on? Then you have the second step, which is collecting the data. So for doing that, you have to know what are the tools and methods and approaches of research that are at your availability, that are going to help you answer to your objectives and follow your objectives in an efficient way. So collecting data is not just going and looking for different sources and just tapping into Google everything that you might have in your mind. And it's also about validating the sources and the data that you found. So you have to be able to see whether the reliability of the source you're using is good enough for your project or not. So don't hesitate. Look into at least two or three sources for the same information to see whether these two or three sources agree on the data. Thirdly, when you have collected, organized, and filter and categorize your data, you have to pass through the analysis. So the analysis means understanding what the data is telling you. So once you have data, you need to know, okay, what can I do with this? And what is this data telling me? What can I do and how can I use it for my company so that I make better decisions and put in place better strategies? So this means that you need to know some of the different research methodologies to analyze data. There are several tools that you can use for statistics analysis, for example. But you need to know and maybe look a little bit about how you can do some statistics for analyzing data. So there are many approaches, depends on what type of data you have, what type of research you're doing. So you have, for example, cluster research, but you have also linear regressions, or everything depends on what is it that you're looking for and how far do you want to get with the data that you have. Finally, you pass on to the implementations of the information and knowledge that you just acquired through your business intelligence so that you can take better and more informed decisions concerning the problem that you identify at the first step. So there are mainly four types of business intelligence. You have competitive intelligence, commercial or marketing intelligence, technological intelligence, and then you have regulation, economic, political, and societal intelligence. So the idea about business intelligence is to understand the environment where you are going to work or where you are working so that you can respond easily and adapt easily to the changes in the environment, and so that you can be competitive against your, of course, competitors, but that you can seize the opportunities that have not been seized by others. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to show you some little tools and strategies that you can use to put in place your business intelligence. You don't have to be a big company or have a big budget to have effective and efficient business intelligence process. But it's really important that you put it in place when you are starting your company, because this step is many times is overseen by entrepreneurs. They think that they don't need it because they have to be flexible and adapt to the market. But if you are not aware of what is happening in the market, then it's going to be really difficult to adapt and to be flexible and to respond better. Business intelligence helps you not only to make better decisions, but it's going to help you also to save money and to focus on your core activities, the aim of your company. So instead of losing too much time doing other things, business intelligence is going to save you time, it's going to save you money, and it's going to help you focus on your core activities, that thing that you do the best. So we're going to go through different strategies. So I just compiled 5 steps that you can put in place in order to start your business intelligence as a project.